Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here, and today we are here with some more F1 news and change of scenery. I'm sitting in my car, it's about to go out, so might as well make a video. Is that weird? I don't know. But yes, so I'm going to just quickly talk about the Grand Prix yesterday. So it was a really impressive race, I've got to say. I mean, I think it was helped with the fact that Lewis Hamilton and Rosberg both got knocked down a few positions off the start. Obviously, Hamilton dropped to like 5th or 6th, I think, after the first few corners. Rosberg, I think, was 3rd, but then got past Raikkonen not too far into the race. But it was a good race. It was something that we've missed for a long time, which was just an interesting race that makes you want to get up. I mean, I didn't actually get up for the, was it 5 AM UK time? I didn't get up that, I had work, so I wanted to get a good amount of sleep. But I did wake up, watch the race, and yeah, I've got to say, I was really impressed with it. I mean, I know it's easy to say now, but I wish every F1 race was like that. But I understand, obviously, that not every track is suited to that style of racing. I mean, let's be honest, the Mercedes is still the fastest car in the grid. I mean, whatever strategy you put them on, I think they still probably have won that race. But that doesn't mean that Vettel shouldn't have won that race, in my opinion. I think Vettel, he had the upper hand throughout that whole race, but they threw it away with the strategy. So even though I think Mercedes should have won the race just from the start, like with whatever strategy you would have put them on, I thought they probably would have won. I mean, there's such a big gap, at some points in that race from Vettel down to the Mercedes. I thought it's going to be quite hard for them to lose it, but somehow, I mean, Ferrari over the last few years, well, last year especially with Vettel with their race wins, Vettel pulled off some great strategies. But today, or yesterday, or whenever you're watching this, the Grand Prix, they didn't exactly have the greatest pit strategy in the world. It's unfortunate, but I still think that Ferrari are a bit closer than they were last year. I mean, it's still, obviously, if you just look at the results, it doesn't look any different to 2015, really. I mean, you just look at the results and you're like, yep, that was boring. But actually, the whole race was really good. I like the fact that we had the cars, the Renault powered cars was something that I was really impressed with. The fact that they weren't slow. I mean, in a straight line, they just weren't slow. I mean, so now we can just sort of write that off the list. Renault aren't terribly slow in a straight line anymore. The fact that, when, I can't remember who it was now, I think it was one of the Renault powered cars, and then there was like Max Verstappen coming up behind him. I think it might have been Palmer, and Palmer managing to stay and keep these cars behind for a long time. And I was pretty impressed with, Palmer in general. Just quickly moving on, Palmer did a really good job, I thought. I mean, first race in Formula 1, obviously Magnussen had a puncture on that first lap of the race, so that sort of put him out of the equation to beat Palmer in the first race of the season. But I thought Palmer really did quite well. I mean, I'm not really, I don't know, I suppose I am a little bit surprised, I'm not going to lie. I was going to say I'm not really surprised because of how good he was in GP2 a few years ago, but I kind of expected Magnussen to sort of just destroy Palmer, really, to be perfectly honest. I thought Palmer was going to have a really bad time of things, but he didn't, and he had a really good race, and he only just missed out on points, one place outside the points there. But I've got to say, it's good to see. I mean, the whole field is a little bit closer. I mean, obviously the Sauber, I didn't get to see much of them in the race, but they weren't too competitive. McLaren Honda definitely have improved. They're up there a little bit more. Obviously, really happy that the accident between Gutierrez and Alonso was like alright, both the drivers were okay. I mean, it was a really scary accident. I mean, it's accidents like that, I mean, it's hard to put a blame on somebody, obviously, because Gutierrez's car was not as good as Alonso's McLaren. Gutierrez braking later, probably on older tyres. So, I mean, obviously, if you're going to point a finger, it's probably, most people are going to be pointing at Gutierrez, but it's just a racing accident, and thankfully, thankfully that both those guys are alright. It was a really scary accident. I'm so happy that both of them got out of it alright. Obviously, Alonso was the one with the most sort of scariest part of it, I suppose, when he was rolling over, but thankfully he got out alright. But yeah, it was nice to see them embrace, have a cuddle afterwards, like, thank God everything's alright. That was scary. But something we have got to mention as well. Actually, I'm going to finish what I was talking about with the Renault power units. They do look like they've improved quite substantially. Actually, I mean, I think there was a Mercedes power unit. I really can't remember who it was now, but the Renault power cars were not just like getting destroyed in a straight line. Even with DRS, cars were finding it tough to overtake. It could have been Ricciardo and Hamilton, or maybe it was. Actually, I think it was Verstappen and Hamilton, wasn't it? So maybe even the Verstappen, the 2015 power unit, it was, you know, not even too bad either. So whatever it was, the engines all look a lot closer in 2016, which is really good. Something that we don't have to complain about as much this year, is just one team or one power unit supply being really rubbish and it pretty much writing anyone off in like the Italian Grand Prix or Spa or whatever, because we just know they're going to be slow. But yeah, that's a really good thing, the fact that all of the teams are a little bit closer in terms of their power unit. I don't know whether the sun is shining on the camera here, but hopefully you can still see me. But yeah, so I'm happy with that. But also, I think the driver of the day has got to be Grosjean, surely. I mean, he technically didn't even make a pit stop in that race. I know it sounds stupid, but he changed his tyres in the red flag time, obviously after that crash with his teammate Gutierrez and Alonso. He changed his tyres in that period there, and that jumped him up to, what was it, 6th place, and he just stayed there for the rest of the race. And I was just expecting him to drop through the field. I saw, you know, he was in that position. I was like, okay, he might be lucky to get points here, but yeah, I just sort of expected him to be outside the top 10. But then he was like, okay, he's staying there, and then it's like 5 laps to go. Okay, this is going to happen. He's going to get points, and then only like 1 or 2 laps to go, and he's like, he's actually going to finish in the 6th place. He's going to finish ahead of the likes of Hulkenberg and all that lot, who are obviously much better cars. So what a race from Haas. What a good strategy as well. We've got to definitely say that. Obviously they've got some people from the other sort of established Formula 1 teams that have got some of them over, and obviously some new faces in there as well. That strategy was perfect. Obviously they couldn't call a red flag. They couldn't expect that to happen, but it worked out perfectly for them, and I'm happy it did. I mean, I don't know whether they got points otherwise. I mean, probably unlikely that they would have scored points, but, well, what can we say? They've made history. They finished 6th place in their first ever Formula 1 race. I'm sure someone can leave a comment down below the last time that something happened like that. You know, what was the last time that somebody came into Formula 1 and then scored points in their debut? You know, like a brand new team. Someone like Caterham, that was Lotus, or Manor, that was Marussia and Virgin, or HRT. You know, one of those teams that just came to Formula 1. They didn't do like a takeover. They just literally came to Formula 1. I'd be interested to know. I'd go and have to do a bit of research myself, but I have literally no idea off the top of my head. But yeah, that would be really impressive to see. But Grosjean and Haas, definitely my drivers of the day. We have to obviously mention the race winner, Nico Rosberg. What am I talking about? Nico Rosberg obviously wins the race, but in my opinion, it wasn't one of his better drives. He wasn't particularly fast. And when we saw Hamilton coming through at the end, he had 1 lap newer tyres, and Hamilton was lapping a lot faster. It's always hard to tell in those sort of circumstances whether Rosberg really just wasn't pushing. That's really tough to tell. But I do think Hamilton was faster. I mean, I don't support anyone in Formula 1 anymore. My favourite driver is Adrian Sutter, and obviously he's not racing in Formula 1 anymore. So I'm completely unbiased in terms of who I want to win this championship. I don't really care. But I do think Hamilton was faster in the Australian Grand Prix. Obviously he got the pole position, but that dreadful start really ruined it for him. And Ferrari, they look like they have a good car for the start-finish line. I think this is going to mix up a lot of races, not particularly because they're like incredible race speed. I think they're fast, but I don't know whether they're still Mercedes fast yet. But I've got to say, I'm looking forward to seeing what Ferrari can do. I think they're going to mix up a lot of races. If they can start 3rd and 4th, they could be 1 and 2 most times down to turn 1. But let's be honest, it was a terrible start from Lewis Hamilton, which definitely contributed to that. But then Rosberg wasn't that great either. So maybe Ferrari have got that nailed. Let's hope they have at least, because it really should make some racing a bit more interesting. Tracks like Monaco, they could just literally finish. They could start like 5th or 6th, have a good enough start, get through a few positions, and they could be battling for that lead, even if they're not particularly fast, just because they've got a great start. So yeah, well done Rosberg. He wasn't the driver of the day, nowhere near in my opinion, but he got the 25 points. Hopefully this championship's closer. 2015 was complete, I don't know, it's just boring. I can't even say much more. It's just boring seeing Hamilton dominate most of the races. But Rosberg, he needs to step up. This could be the last year. Obviously, we go to new regulations in 2017. This could be the last year Rosberg has of winning a championship, especially if he doesn't. I don't know whether he's got a contract for next year. I'm thinking he doesn't. I can't actually remember, but it would be interesting to see whether he does get a contract renewal, or whether they go for someone a bit younger, maybe Verline. He didn't have exactly the most impressive first race, but he's in a manner. What do you expect? But yeah, where did I go from that? Well, I don't even know what I was talking about. But yeah, Rosberg wasn't excellent, but well done to him. He definitely deserves a bit of good luck. He had quite a lot of unfortunate in 2015, so maybe 2016 is his year. But yeah, so let me know your comments down below. Driver of the day, impressive overtake, something like that. I don't know. Verstappen and Sainz had a good old squabble. I've got to say that as well. That's going to be a really interesting battle. I mean, Verstappen was raging on the radio, obviously, after Sainz got called into the pits first. But yeah, interesting stuff. I really enjoyed that race, and hopefully more to come like that. And obviously the next race, I think it's Bahrain, isn't it? So that's not that long away, is it? About 1.5 weeks. Not this next weekend, the one after. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one a lot. But yeah, let's see. What do you guys think? Do you think Mercedes will dominate that again, or do you think that Ferrari have got a chance? If they got those sort of starts, maybe they have. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I was just talking about the Australian Grand Prix there. I don't even know what else to say. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon for more videos. Goodbye.